Yo! Hello and welcome, this is Giraffe Reaction Zone, Straw Hats versus Buster Call. And Monkey D. Luffy, Gear 2, Gear 3, and Lucci power levels. Are they even strong enough to become one of the 7 warlords? Check it out, power levels, One Piece reaction, episode 310. Lucci is down. We still have those Vice Admirals. We don't know how strong they are. The stronger in history of CP9 got defeated the strongest by yes. So you gonna go back to sogeking version, or you staying as Usopp because he fulfilled the promise? So are you actually coming back, Usopp? But he's still in his devil fruit form though. That's strange. So everybody were actually worried, but still there's loads of marines, but they are just acting like they were nothing. What, the Franky family? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not believing that somebody is dead until I'm gonna see their bodies. You fail. You fail. Where they are? Holy shit, it's a lot. How much rope he have? It's like almost like eating devil fruit. Okay. So no losses at all, and the whole island is basically destroyed. Invasion succeed at every aspect. They really cannot do much against them. It has to be those 5 admirals to step to the fight. Oh, what? He's not moving. It's not a win then. If he can't move, it's not a win. That means they are drawing. The last attack probably took everything from him, isn't it? This was really massive one. You can't move at all? They overdid it, isn't it? That was definitely a draw then. Whoa! They destroyed the ship until they get there. That was their escape route. Now they are hopeless. Unless they're gonna beat all of them down, they take their ship, but are they even capable? Oh yeah, and there was Chopper and others as well. Okay, Sanji's back. Where have you been? Why you did not defend the ship? Where have you been? Okay, you saved them, but you lost the ship. Where the hell you have been and what you were doing? I hope you're gonna take the responsibility now, Sanji. Yeah, where on earth have you been? Exactly. What? They're marines as well. Holy moly. What now? What, they're gonna rescue them later? So what now? They are literally cornered. They have to conquer the ship. That's the only option. All of them, all of you onto the one ship. Or maybe 2. One lead by Zoro, another with Sanji. They aiming at Luffy now. They separate them that they cannot stop them. They aiming at Luffy. Wow. And if he's gonna fall to the sea, it's game over. Holy shit. Rabbit, stop making fun now. Luffy needs to do something. Luffy, do something! No, the only thing what you can do is breathing? What's below? Well, everybody can hear it all of a sudden? Chopper, can you translate? Do something, not cry. Maybe Sanji can throw somebody. Or Zoro can push Sanji to Luffy and Sanji can somehow recover him. Jump into the sea. Why? What the hell is happening right now? Can somebody enlighten me? Please? What? He threw Chopper. There must be something there, but what? There was nobody there. Franky's ship? No. He can't even talk. There's nobody on the ship, looks like. No way. No bloody way. How? Who was operating it? how it survived the Aqua Laguna, because the last thing which we saw that ship was when Kaku releasing it to the deep sea just before Aqua Laguna, the massive big wave. How the ship survived being in such a bad shape, and how all of a sudden it's here. I know, I do understand that there is some kind of a soul that ship has, which Franky mentioned before, was able to fix him themselves. So what? It's able to operate themselves too? Really? To the point that at the very crucial moment it's appearing? If not that, the only option will be to defeat the Marines, and when Luffy is incapable of moving, I'm not sure they could actually deal with the Vice Admirals unless they are just nobodies. Okay, let's go! Unbelievable. That's it. That's the end of the episode. And as I said, I am kind of speechless. It is kind of like, you know, leave the things to luck, and the luck all of a sudden is on their side. It's still not end of the story. They still gonna be surrounded by the ships. It's just instead of the buildings, now they are in the ship, capable of moving. Question is for how long, because the judgment was that they cannot sail to the next island because the ship is gonna crack. Holy shit. It was a big tension. It is still a tension. Don't know what's gonna happen to Luffy, because Luffy and Chopper are literally incapable. The only good thing is that Chopper is conscious, which means he can tell the others how to treat everybody if in case of first aid and so on. And the rest can probably operate, if not going merry itself can operate themselves. We having a navigator. It is a chance. It is a hope now. However, how much this gives, we're gonna find out in the next episode. Episode 311. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's join. What the heck is that? Yeah, that's the ship. So they figured it out. They have a pirate ship over there. Surprise me. Not everybody get into that ship. Thanks. Nobody there. Chopper definitely feels better. Yeah, Usopp's for clearly feeling better. That's what I was saying. This shop was literally thrown into the big, massive Aqua Laguna, isn't it? By Kaku. What? She's implying that they saved her, not she saved him.
Luffy, それにみんなありがとう。
They defeat everything. The island is utterly destroyed. He's still alive. Holy shit. Can somebody knock him out? And the ship is not in a very good condition as well. Huh? What's that? The whirlpools. I was in the cost of you guys actually fighting the captains and the commanders, isn't it? Don't know, Sanji, I can forgive you this one. But it was helping. Yeah, it's a big help still. Triple flame stars. Okay. Looks like the cannons are not doing anything anymore. But that's Vice Admirals. They did nothing, those guys. I'm your captain, shut up! Wow. They had nobody to defend from the cannonball on the ship? What Vice Admiral are doing? Are what? They just standing, doing nothing? That is so weird that they're not participating in the fight. Looks like not big problem was those cannonballs, but I'm still so disappointed at those Vice Admirals. It was 5 of them. Is she gonna kill him? Revenge? Really? I mean, she's a pirate. She can do it easily. Nobody gonna blame her for it. No, definitely not. But she is an assassin. Is she gonna kill him then?
Clutch!
Yo! Yo! Nicely done! The main threat! The guy who was pulling the strings! Holy moly! It's like Skype, yeah? With the dials. Super smoke star. Okay. Create a mist. They destroyed. Take back. And run away. Big disappointment with this Buster Call, especially with that this Vice Admirals did nothing because in Ohara Aokiji jumped on the island and was an additional force. Oh yeah, what about them? This Buster Call, none of the Vice Admiral was participating. None of them. They got the train. Nobody focused on them because they lost to Luffy, yeah, and others. So they had a free option to run away. Even the giants. Holy shit, they need to balance him properly to run away. Okay. Who's that? Have been completely defeated. Okay. If those 5 Vice Admirals are actually that strong that because they are such a high rank, if they actually participate and somehow take down Robin, Sanji or Zoro, that would be it. I'm literally kind of disappointed on them, unless they was ordered to not to. I don't know the specific rules of the Buster Call actually, but in the previous Buster Call, Aokiji was actually participating on the land. What about the 200 millions, by the way? Anything about the gold? Okay, he didn't say anything about the gold. Literally, they forgot about those 200 millions which Franky took. And that's it. We're slowly approaching to next arc because we run away. Aokiji admit defeat. He's kind of responsible for the loss. I don't know what's gonna happen within the government, but definitely that's gonna be a major incident. A major, even higher than that. Possibly Aokiji will lose his position. Who knows? Because that's normally what would happen if he allows this guy to use the Bastard Call. If he ordered all of those CP9 to took Robin because he told them that Robin is approaching. Also with this blueprints, it's everything. So obviously the person who is the highest position losing the position. If there will be a blame unless he's like ordering and he's like a king. If I would be somebody, let's say above Aokiji or even Aokiji, I will definitely blame at least those 5 Vice Admirals who was ordering the Buster Call for simply not participating because Aokiji knew better that because he already participated in the Buster Call and he was on the land, on the Ohara, making sure nobody will survive. He even mentioned that. So why all of those 5 Vice Admirals, good for us, good for definitely Luffy, but this is such a disappointment. They show nothing, only ordering orders. They even destroying their own ship and still not participated. What kind of Vice Admirals they are? I'm not having a good opinion about Vice Admirals. I'm sorry. Power levels. Power level section. We're gonna have 3 characters, classic power levels as you say. So we're gonna start with Monkey D. Luffy, the straight away Gear 2 fixation update because we can narrow the range pretty significantly. Next we're gonna proceed to Lucci CP9. I'm gonna shrink up his range as well. You're gonna see what and how. And finally I'm gonna go to the Monkey D. Luffy again for the first time justification and pretty damn decent and narrow Gear 3. But before that, I just want to remind you quickly about the rules what we're having here. So basically we're having 3 rules which we judging all of our characters' strength, which first of all is if a character can win with another character within 1 punch, that means the character is twice stronger. if the character can win a fight without fighting seriously, one punch or no, he is 10 times stronger. And if the character can win with a one punch and at the same time not fighting seriously, he's 20 times stronger. In case when we cannot apply any of the rules but the fight is concluded, the winner's minimum strength is gonna be either maximum, minimum or average strength of the guy who loses the fight. It all depends how much wounded is the winner. Let's go back to video now. So, Monkey D. Luffy Gear 2. His minimum strength of Monkey D. Luffy was double the Blue No, which is 1640, and maximum strength was basically 10 times the Blue Nose, as he couldn't beat him out on serious fight, so 8200. I'm gonna start with the easiest approach, which is his maximum strength, because when Luffy, obviously we're getting Luffy versus Lucci fight, so when Luffy first time transferred to Gear 2, he punched Lucci with a jet pistol when Franky tried to get through, and yeah, that didn't work. So that means Gear 2 Luffy is not twice stronger than, ladies and gents, base Lucci, which is that Lucci which was justified by One Piece 4000. Twice as much as that is 8000, it was 8200, so maximum strength of Monkey D. Luffy Gear 2 dropping to 8000. And that will be it in case of his maximum strength. Minimum strength is gonna be slightly more justified. So, basically, Luffy versus Lucci. We cannot really justify any of the additional rules, so we're gonna go to the second part. That means Luffy technically won with Lucci, but however, I will be more treated that as a draw, because even though Lucci was unconscious and defeated, Luffy couldn't make a move. He had to be pulled down to the ship. He was literally his muscles refusing to work. In case of Luffy's minimum strength, so technically defeat or draw with Lucci with a devil fruit form, which means Luffy is clearly stronger than Lucci without devil fruit, which means Lucci 4000 strength. Which is why I'm gonna put minimum strength of Luffy Gear 2 as 4000. And that gives, ladies and gents, average strength of Monkey D. Luffy Gear 2 as easy 6000. Yes, the range is still pretty wide, but that's the maximum which I can do, because I want to make Lucci strength based on Luffy. So I don't want to use Lucci's additional justification to justify Luffy, because that will just go for a circle. So I could only use those 4000 which was given by One Piece, which wasn't actually justified by me, as a reference. And now when Monkey D. Luffy is properly justified, I can justify Rob Lucci based on Luffy's Gear 2 strength. So Rob Lucci, he have a minimum strength of 4000, we definitely leaving that as it is, because that's a One Piece sword and we have no better justification. In case of his maximum strength, justified as 14,120. However, we're gonna go again, because we justifying Rob Lucci's strength as Luffy based. We're gonna justify the Rob Lucci's strength based of Luffy Gear 2 now. So what actually happened there? Easily, he got his ultimate technique, uses 2 or 3 times to attempt to defeat Luffy, as well as all other sorts of techniques. None of them won with a one punch. That means Lucci is clearly not twice stronger than Luffy. That will minimize his maximum strength to 12,000, or because of Monkey D. Luffy is 6,000. However, skipping out the rules because the second part is more accurate, there was a draw. Yeah, their fight was a draw with a winner basically as Luffy, but I'm treating that as a draw. So Rob Lucci maximum strength will be either minimum, average or maximum strength of Luffy. Because he lost the fight, so his maximum strength will be justified based off Luffy's strength. However, because it was a draw and the state what Luffy was after the fight that he couldn't barely move, I'm definitely skipping minimum strength. I'm definitely definitely skipping average strength because Luffy couldn't move. So I'm gonna give Rob Lucci the maximum strength of Luffy, which means 8,000. And that gives exactly the same strength as Luffy. And that is exactly accurate in my opinion because that was a draw. That's what I'm saying. Just because of that, I'm gonna treat, even though Luffy having an upper hand still, because when he was attacking Lucci with his all devil fruit form, everything, he was feeling the pain. It was like showing that Luffy is slightly stronger than him. Still, he cannot control it, master it yet. That's a better way. For now, they're gonna be equally strong. So, Rob Lucci maximum strength is gonna be 8,000. And that gives, ladies and gents, average strength of Rob Lucci also 6,000. Case closed for both of them. And now we go into the final gear-free justification, and again, this only approach was the thick door, but thick door is completely irrelevant because it doesn't have a strength. Okay, it's a thick iron, so basically it's an iron, but durability of iron is 1700. No, 1700 is already stronger than steel, so that will give him minimum 1700. But there is fight with Lucci again. There was a moment when obviously Luffy transformed into gear free and gave him a clean shot. Sadly, there was only one shot because everything else was avoided by Rob Lucci. However, the exact statement, what he said just after being hit by Luffy is pretty significant. It was that he feels he might pass out. That's why he after the hit, which means okay, Luffy didn't won with Lucci with one punch, and that was a direct hit. So we can easily justify maximum strength as twice as much of Lucci, which is 12,000 maximum strength, and I'm gonna keep it as it is, 12,000. And in case of minimum strength, it's because it was almost there. He almost beat him up that he even if not the ship, he will literally lose the fight, and he needs some time for kind of recovery. And also the thing that he was avoiding every next attack means he didn't really want to get hit because that could be over. So I would say that Luffy gear 3 would kind of win with Lucci CP9 if his whole body will be within gear 3, because we know there is an effect that he cannot have the full body within gear 3, but if he would have that, he would win the fight. So I know it's a lot of assumption here, however, just based on the hit, the minimum strength, I'm not gonna give minimum strength of Rob Lucci, either average, because if that would be the same level of attack, Lucci will never say that he's going to pass out. But means minimum strength of gear 3 Luffy, I'm gonna give maximum strength of Rob Lucci, which is 8,000. Which means average strength is gonna be 10,000 strength. And all of those ranges actually for Gear 2, Lucci, and Gear 3 are within 4,000 pointers. I know I could do it better, but then you don't have enough evidence. Maybe in the future we will shrink it down, the ranges. So far, I'm saying case closed. So let's go to the ranking, let's see how they end up, and all of them obviously are the heavy hitters. So yes, Rob Lucci and Monkey D. Luffy, both 6,000 strength. I'm putting Luffy above Lucci simply because he technically was winning the fight and he still have opportunity to master this gear 2, which means eventually he will surpass Lucci when he gonna master it. But for Lucci to get stronger, it's gonna be much harder. So that's the thing, because he's already a master. Luffy gonna be at position number 9 and Lucci dropping down from 6 into the 10th, sadly. And yeah, both of them 6,000 pounds. Both of them 6,000 strength. And yeah, both of them are stronger than the Blackbird, which is 4,000 strength. However, with Blackbird we have to compare the minimum strength, and that's really even looking now, because minimum strength of both of them and the Blackbird is really the same. Then we having Tony, Chopper, Sanji, Zoro, and Nola. Minimum strength lower as well as average strength lower than them. However, Nola is really close, which means he will give a fair fight. And yeah, we saw in the Skypia for Nola literally eat Luffy, and Luffy was trying to get out from the stomach, and he couldn't do it. And they are just below the giant captains, Dory and Broggy, with a 8,500. Again, this is not double the strength. So, as well as Monkey D. Luffy gear 3 above them with a 10,000. This is not doubling his strength, so that will be a fair fight. However, the advantage is clearly on the giant side. So the gigantic and strong trained body is gonna have a big upper hand. Now let's go to gear 3. Let's scroll it up. As we see, gear 3 is position number 6, so taking Lucci spot in this scenario. It is above the giants. However, I will say that, the difference is 16% actually stronger, so Luffy is technically 16% stronger than the giants. This gives an advantage, but that's not having a high hope still. It's just having an advantage. He is just below literally the 7 warlords, admirals, and if we want to compare it, Crocodile and Monkey D. Luffy gear 3, that would be very even fight, considering the Luffy can hit him, because we know Crocodile is a Logia, devil fruit, so it's gonna be very tough for him, but they are equally strong. Now, after all of these power-ups, after all of those episodes gone through, Luffy finally, slowly, not yet, but reaches Crocodile's level. There is also the Doflamingo between them two. However, Doflamingo is having such a big advantage at this point because his minimum strength is literally stronger than average strength of gear 3. So yeah, I do believe Doflamingo, when we're gonna see his true potential, he's gonna go way up. However, is he gonna reach the Aokiji or Mihawk level? That is very unlikely, because their minimum strength is even greater from Aokiji. So gear 3 Luffy reaches a certain level, but it not reaches high enough to become one of the 7 warlords, for example, if he would try to apply it. From the other side, Blackbeard trying to attempt it, he have similar minimum strength, so maybe, just maybe, gear 3 Luffy could potentially join the 7 warlords. That would be pretty interesting stuff to see, actually, if it's even possible, but we saw it is possible because Blackbeard trying to attempt it, and let's see what's gonna happen. Gear 2, still, Luffy is having long way to go. I do believe Gear 2 Luffy is weaker than Blackbeard. That's my humble opinion on the matter. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys leave a like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.